Everybody to Mother Milkweed's not seditious theater of love, Midnight Madness. Midnight Madness. Oh, I'm lost. I'm just getting lost in how exciting the vibe is. Midwinter Madness on CJUC 92.5 FM, local Whitehorse Radio, for our 4th annual solstice fundraiser. We are seeking to raise money to keep the lights on and buy some new equipment upgrades for things like our fireweed market concerts and shows. If you want to support local programming such as mine or many other exciting shows such as the one you just heard, or things like Sad Girl Power Hour, you may e-transfer a donation at donate@cjucfm.com. I am Mother Milkweed, and currently we are broadcasting on not only the radio on 92.5 FM and our website cjucfm.com, but additionally live on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@cjucfm, where you can see my lovely face. And if you're a fan of Mother Milkweed and you follow me on Instagram, I'm there too. I'm also there on my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/miracleglue. I would love to get some live confessions from you today, if possible. So if you have anything that you'd like to share with your mother, if you have any stories, any messages, any advice that you would like from me, you can always submit a confession at my website, milkweed.productions/mmstol. We've had a number of incredible donations so far. I hope to see more if possible. Again, you can donate by e-transferring donate@cjucfm.com, and take a look at our website, cjucfm.com, for a variety of other annual solstice fundraiser and details. There are shirts you can buy. There are stickers with our new branding, etc. Very exciting stuff. Additionally, if you really want to, if you're feeling bold and brave, you may make a donation, and that can get you the opportunity to ask me for a confession. Ask your mother something personal, and I will do my very, very best to answer that question. And if you're watching on one of the various streaming platforms, then it is my hope that I will also be able to hang out with you in the chat rooms, which, like, no guarantee that I'll be able to monitor that. So it's always just best if you can to submit that question or confession through my website, milkweed.productions/mmstol. And with all that being said, I hope you're having a lovely Saturday, December 23rd so far. If you celebrate a kind of holiday this time of year, then I hope you're getting some rest ahead of that. I know that many of us, we get time off this time of year, and I hope you're able to actually appreciate that rest and that time off. It's important. We don't get a lot of those opportunities, and if you have that opportunity, take it. Take a bath, light some candles if you want. If you have the ability to if you have like a wood stove, I know there are a few of you out there with wood stoves because I can smell them in the evening. There's nothing like wood smoke. We often call that the lesbian's cologne, flannel and wood smoke. So I suggest, like adding an extra little bit of wood to that fire and make it nice and toasty, get down to the tank top and just cozy on up there. If you want, make a drink too, a tea. Love a good chamomile tea. I grew my own chamomile this year and I ran out because I was just having so much of it. And a lot of it grew. Chamomile is very, very easy to grow, it turns out. And I suggest if you want to get into that, why not start with chamomile? It grows incredibly. And then you just dry it out and you have yourself some nice chamomile tea. But until then, steep yourself in tea, make yourself a hot chocolate. It's the year of hot chocolates this time of year. So make some hot chocolates, get some hot cocoa going, just cozy on up with a big blanket and just rest. And if it's hard, if you're finding it challenging to disconnect, then you can pick up a book. Maybe you can watch your favorite show or a comfort show. This time of year too, I know it's always good to return to some old classics that you love, some shows that bring you comfort. For me, that's always the Star Wars movies. I grew up watching the original trilogy on cassette, on VHS, and something about The Empire Strikes Back in that first scene on Hoth with all the snow, just like it forever linked to this special snowy, wintry time of year. And I've already watched it probably about 2 or 3 times. And by watch it, I mean I have it on in the background. I'm doing something else. I'm getting settled in for bed. And it's because I know the movie so intimately well, I don't need to actually watch it, but it's just having that on, is very comforting. And maybe your comfort is me. It's this radio show that you're watching or listening to right now, in which case I'm honored. I'm blessed. Thank you so, so much for having me be a part of your restful holidays. It means so much to me. And if you like that, if you appreciate that, I'd love to hear that from you if possible. Send me a confession and let me know what you like to do to find rest. It can be hard to disconnect from all of the busy happenings this time of year and all of the stuff that takes our minds, such as work and life maintenance and taking care of the house and cooking, etc. Let me know what you do to find rest and relaxation this time of year. I'd love to hear from you. I have a listener on Instagram who just said, these glasses look amazing on you. Thank you so much, Napta12. If you want to see these glasses, you can if you catch one of the video streams of this show at youtube.com, the CJUC channel, or on my live Instagram feed. I'm at miracle_glue if you want to find me there. Thank you so much, Napta12. I love these glasses too. I recently did a Mother Milkweed mood board because I was really struggling after my last performance piece called Sublimation of the Sublime. If you'd like to watch that, that's also on my website, milkweed.productions. But you got to pay for it now. It was free for a few months, but I had to paywall it because I realized making it free made all of my past videos free. And one of my videos, I do like a burlesque number, and it's let's just say you get very intimately aware of mothers' bodies. So that's paywalled, but I think it's like $5 for access to all of my videos. So if you want, you can find that there. But I was doing a mood board for Mother Milkweed because I was trying to figure out what is what is the consistent style that I have? Like what are the vibes and the themes that I confront and tackle when I play and perform Mother Milkweed. So I did this mood board, and these glasses were a great help. They were an immediate addition to the mood board. So thank you very much. I'm glad you like them. They are very me. So yeah, that's Mother Milkweed mood board. I also just added recently, after doing the Confessions live show for Trans Awareness Week, I really struggled to do the outfit because every show that I do, I do a new look, right? I'm evolving. Mother Milkweed, I'm always kind of growing and evolving. And every new video is an emergence. And so I can't repeat the same look. But it's got to be thematically aligned, and it has to be like within who I am and representative of that. And I did return to some pieces from my very, very first emergence. But I discovered that Mother always wears long skirts. And so that's now on the mood board. So Mother always wears long skirts. And my next performance piece will certainly include a long skirt. It's still very much in like the visioning phase. And it is, it's like has the tentative title, The Holy Mother. So I'm going to be like tackling some like religious guilt. And I'm also going to tackle the concept of like how a mother heals. And so I asked a bunch of you on Instagram a few months ago, like, how do you think a mother heals? Like, how does a mother heal? And I left it open-ended to interpret, like, are we talking about like how a mother heals herself, or how a mother heals others? And so your responses were hugely informative and wonderful and well thought out, and I'm very grateful to all of you who submitted that. Your responses will help me figure out the themes of this project, but also have influenced me as a person, Mother Milkweed, and are on the mood board as well now. And so that's kind of the themes that I'll be tackling with that piece, and hopefully I'm also thinking like a Joan of Arc kind of look, like some leather straps with some like metal armor bits, I think. So we'll see how much that looks like. The last piece, I had a very different idea when I first sketched out the outfit, and then I kind of assembled it using like scraps that I could cobble together. That informs the character, and I grow and grow from there. I'm also working on like a new written text. So with Sublimation of the Sublime, I also published The House That Mother Built, which is like a HTML text storytelling thing that you can access for free still on my website, that deals with the themes of like grief and embodiment. And I explored it using this program called Twine, which allows you to make like an interactive web-based text, kind of very early HTML if you're familiar with. And I really liked the formatting of how I could tell a story through many different interpretations and pathways. And so it actually inspired me to revisit an older text of mine, a book I had written but never published, like 4 or 5 years ago for National Novel Writing Month, or NaNoWriMo, for those who know. And it inspired me to to revisit that story, because I think that this application Twine, this way of like experiencing a narrative through these like multifaceted, hyperlinked text elements and multiple paths, would work perfectly for this old text I had written. So that is also one of my next projects, is going to be a revisitation, adaptation of this unpublished book that I had written a few years ago. And that one will primarily be an exploration of adaptation and translation. which I could go into, but I'm not going to right now. It's still very early phases. It's like first her Holy Mother, and then next is this text adventure, which I'm not going to tell you the title just yet for that one. But yeah, those are some projects I got going on, some like art things that I'm very excited for. I think also too that this text revisitation is it takes place at a listening station on a mountain, like an old military listening station. And I thought it'd be fun to maybe explore some of that storytelling on my show Postmortem, which happens once a week on Wednesdays at 11 p.m., a late night radio show where I explore themes of, not themes. I explore like conspiracy theories and bedtime stories and like hypnosis, and I play like experimental atmospheric synth music, and it's all streamed live from my home back to the studio. And so that one I've been like really exploring a different kind of vibe to. The talk show that I've been running every Friday is the Seditious Theater of Love, where I sometimes interview folk and we talk about love and sedition. Postmortem is a lot more kind of slow storytelling and hypnosis, and it's because it's nighttime, right? It's 11 p.m. and I just want to be able to welcome you into the night and be a part of your nighttime routine. And this Midwinter Madness special, I read the story of the Chasse Galerie, which I read in French. If you heard that live, my apologies. It's been so long since I read a text in French, and half my family being from Quebec and being French, I have a lot of like guilt over how much of that I've actually lost. Living in places where there's a lot of English language speakers. And I know like the path that it would take for me to feel more comfortable in my French speaking again. But it's just hard. It's hard, and I don't have a lot of time for myself. Mother doesn't have a lot of time for herself, and I usually just like to spend that time playing video games at home and resting. Which I hope to be streaming more of in the future, by the way. This little stream test on my Twitch channel is also part of a test just to see if I can do it again. And I'm happy to report that I can. And in the new year, I will be returning to twitch.tv/miracleglue to stream some game time. I might even get a VTuber model, which I think would be very exciting, because then I wouldn't have to like do this makeup all the time. Although I think it's a pretty good job. I love this green lipstick, if you can see me. For those of you on radio, just imagine matcha green lipstick. It looks great. And I love to play video games, so why not share that with y'all? It's like a casual time, and a VTuber model would be really cool. I have like a few artist colleagues and friends of mine that I think it might be possible to make, and I was hoping to like maybe get some funding to help pay for that. If you're not familiar with VTubing, it's kind of cringe, but like I love it. It's really cool. You basically get like an animated virtual like model, so it's like a stand-in for having the camera on while you're streaming. And most high profile VTubers, they have one custom made for them, and it's like quite a process. Like you not only do you pay for the artist, but you pay for like the virtual face recognition framework building, because VTubers, when they talk, they have their camera on their side, and when they move and their mouth moves and they talk and they blink, it aligns that motion and that movement to their virtual model, which then will do all the movement but be on the front end of the screen for the viewers to see. And so they do the camera on thing, as a lot of other video streamers will do, but instead of seeing them, you see their virtual model that is like their persona that they play, or their character that you see when you watch their stream. And I think that would be really cool. I love it. And it is, I say it's kind of cringe because it's mostly like anime-esque models. So you do get like a lot of anime girls who are like big VTuber streamers. It is cute. I like it. I'm like also a big anime fan, if you didn't know that. If you did, then lucky you. I love to talk anime. In fact, I watched a lot of anime this year, some really good shows out there. I did a reco. I did some mother's recos in my last hour earlier today. So why don't we just do like a little anime one? And we can talk a little bit about some anime that I recommend for you if you're into that. To the general population who don't know what anime is, oh boy, lucky you. It's Japanese animation. It's they're like cartoons, but there are like certain tropes of storytelling and themes, and the animation style is also unique to the form. And I could talk a lot about that, but I'm not going to. If you want, you can look it up, and I'm sure most people have some kind of awareness of what anime is at this point. But this year I have gotten into Jujutsu Kaisen, which has been recommended to me for a long time. And like, I'm a big Chainsaw Man fan, which I got really into last year. And Chainsaw Man is incredible. It's awesome. It's so good, but they only made one season so far. So I got into reading like the manga because I couldn't wait for the next season. But they announced a movie, so I'm also excited for that. But because of my love for this, everyone is like also really into this anime called Jujutsu Kaisen. And it's, from what I can tell, people are really into it. Not only because like the animation is really crisp and the storytelling is pretty good and the concepts are cool, but also because there's a lot of hot DILFs in it. And I am not a big fan of like the male gender. Not to put down the male gender. It's just that like I like women. So there's very few mask guys out there that will like pique my interest. But from what I understand, people are really into Jujutsu Kaisen because the guys are real hot. And like, remember, it's anime, so like they're cartoon guys, but that's fine, no judgment. And there's one that's like, that is, I will have to admit, like very pretty, and his name is Gojo, and he has white hair, and I don't know what it is about anime, but there's like always like a character who has like white hair, or it's like silver hair, or like gray hair, and they're always like the really good looking wayfish like boy, and it's one of those tropes in anime where there's always like a white haired boy who's like very attractive. He's also like, this is the concept called power scaling and like a lot of nerdy things, and like that just means like this person has like a lot of, sorry, I'm dropping the phone, have a lot of like supernatural superpowers essentially, and they're like really overpowered. And he has like control over infinity, like the concept of infinity, which is absurd, but he's also just a silly guy. He's a silly, goofy guy. And it's, earlier I talked about like Japan's history of like cults and Aum Shinrikyo, and Aum Shinrikyo had like a very long lasting effect. And both Chainsaw Man and Jujutsu Kaisen deal with a similar concept of like the manifestations of like the evil in both of these shows. In Jujutsu Kaisen, they're curses, or cursed spirits. And the heroes like wield that power for good. And in Chainsaw Man, they're devils. But both of these, this evil in both shows are created through people's fear of a thing. And so like in one show, in Jujutsu Kaisen, there's like a cursed spirit that manifests because of people's collective fear of humanity, or like other people, humans. And based on like how feared the idea or the concept is how strong this negative force will be. And so in Chainsaw Man, there is like there's like the control devil, and that is based on people's fear of control. And the more people fear it, the stronger they get. And so it's really interesting that like both of these shows, while made by independent creators at slightly different times, um, their world building rules are different, but their concepts around like people's fears fueling the negative energy that will then manifest to like do harm upon our society and other people. Very fascinating to me. Very interesting. And there's like a lot of like funny, like lower level fears that are like very like not powerful. Like in Chainsaw Man, there's a tomato devil, and tomato devil lasts like 2 seconds. Easily defeated tomato devil. Turns out not a lot of people fearful of tomatoes. But like Chainsaw Man, a lot of people are scared of chainsaws. So Chainsaw Man is like very powerful. And in Jujutsu Kaisen, there's like the fear of like humanity, also a big one. So very powerful. And so like I just it's a good show. Jujutsu Kaisen, highly recommend. It's a lot of fun. And just because it's like animated too, I wouldn't say that it's for all ages, even though it's like a cartoon. I know that sometimes it can be misunderstanding people have of animation. Anime is like it's made for youth, the youth, but it is also like very adult content and material. And I think that's a key difference between like anime and a lot of North American animation and cartoons, is which are clearly designed for like children and a young audience. Anime is very much like it deals with mature subject matter, introduces youth to some more mature subject matter, which is not like an inherently negative thing. I do think that like youth do need to have various ways of learning the things that they will be dealing with later in life and tackling. And I think animation is like a really clever way for young people to learn about adult concepts that will they'll come face to face with eventually anyway. So yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen, very good. If you're into hot animated dads, like that's like another thing that it's got going for it. But yeah, so that's my anime recommendation of the year. I haven't had a lot of time for content consuming this year. I've been very busy. So like I usually put together like my favorite movies of the year, but I actually haven't watched a lot of them off of my list. I'm hoping to that in like this next week I'll be able to like go through a lot of the great 2023 movies that I've been like very excited for. Such as like I think it's like Pretty Things with Emma Stone. I was going to say Emma Watson, but I think that's incorrect. I think Emma Watson is the Harry Potter person, right? That's like the Hermione actor. So I'm excited for, I think it's called Pretty Things. Yeah, no, Poor Things. Poor Things, 2023, directed by Yorgos Lanthimos, with, Emma Stone. And that looks really great. My Kind of Weird. I love strange, bizarre, weird cinema. So that's on my list to watch. The new Godzilla movie came out, and I'm a big fan of Godzilla. So Godzilla -1. It's the first Godzilla movie to be set back in the past again. So like every Godzilla movie that's come out to date has been like either contemporary, so based in the period that it was like made in, or in the future or near future. And this is the first one that goes back in time to do a Godzilla story. It's also the first live action Godzilla movie since we had Shin Godzilla. So it's been a while. I'm very excited. And no, I do not include the Hollywood Godzilla movies. The Japanese ones are the only true Godzilla movies. That's my pretentious Godzilla take, I guess. I also am very excited, truthfully, for the Napoleon movie. Not something I would normally be into, but I'm a big fan of Joaquin Phoenix. and less of a big fan of Ridley Scott, even though like the Alien movies are really good. And just like he's okay. I think he's overhyped, Ridley Scott. But Napoleon, I'm kind of excited for because I saw Joaquin Phoenix was in it, and then I saw an article come out by, I think it's like Polygon.com, was like Napoleon is the anti-man movie, the anti-great man movie, and I was like, well, that seems interesting. So if it's just a movie with like little Joaquin Phoenix playing little Napoleon and like just messing up big time everywhere and being up his own butt, then like I'm really into that. I'd be into that. How to Blow Up a Pipeline came out last year. But it came out last year, I think at like Sundance or something. Technically, I think it hit theaters early this year. Regardless, that's a movie I'm really excited for watching as well. Though I think it will be emotionally devastating, much as the book was. And if you don't know what the book How to Blow Up a Pipeline is, I really suggest you read it. It's if you're a fan of radical, transformative action and seditious things, maybe. The book is it's the best book I read this year. It's probably the only like the second or third book I actually finished this year. And the book is kind of like a manifesto, or critical commentary against how movements often are so focused around nonviolence. And that's all I'm going to say about it. The movie is fiction based on the same themes of the book, but it's like an adaptation of the material, whereas the book is nonfiction. The movie is fiction, but still excited to see it. I would love to see Creed 3. I love boxing, and I love Michael B. Jordan. 65 with Adam Driver is another movie I'm very excited for. Remember seeing the trailer for this, and it's just like Adam Driver in like a Planet of the Apes style movie with like dinosaurs, and it looks like a movie that would have been made in like the early 2000s. And I saw the trailer for it and I was like, cinema's back, baby. Cinema is back and it's here. And we're getting like dorky little sci-fi concept movies that are just about a guy running around shooting dinosaurs or something. So also excited for that movie. Hope I can get to it before the year is up. Bad City, which is, I think, technically last year as well, directed by Kensuke Sonomura and Itsuke Suzuki, a Japanese movie. I don't know much about this. Kaiko City is plagued with poverty and crime when a corrupt businessman decides to run for mayor and starts eliminating opponents from the rival mafia. A former police captain serving time for murder is secretly released and put in charge of a special task force to arrest him. It just looks good, and I'm a fan of the directors, so exciting. There's also Shin Kamen Rider by Hideaki Anno of Evangelion fame. Shout out Evangelion fans. Another anime, would love to see that one as well. So there's a lot of movies I can't watch that I'm still frustrated I can't watch. The People's Joker, directed by Vera Drew, which is a riff on the DC Comics character, the Joker. And it's a kind of like gender identity coming of age story told through like satire on DC Comics. And Vera Drew, the director, plays the title character, as well as wrote it. It's like a passion project of hers. And it came out for like one night, and it's had secret screening since, but it came out for one night at the Toronto Film Festival, and it was shut down by DC. DC heard about it, and they were like, no, you cannot make fun of the Joker. Which, like, come on, guys, is so silly. And it's been struggling ever since to see the light of day. But I just read an article earlier today from them. us that it will finally see the light of day. So the People's Joker, people will finally be able to start seeing it other than that secret screenings. So hopefully one day I will be able to also see the People's Joker. So if you live in a town where the People's Joker will be screening, go check that out. I think it's going to be very good if you're a big fan of, gender identity, which maybe not a lot of people are the big fans of gender identity, but I don't even know if I'm a fan of it. I just think it'll be a good movie. Anyway, hello. If you're just joining in, I am Mother Milkweed, and you're listening to CJUC 92.5 FM live in Whitehorse and everywhere else on CJUCFM.com, as well as on Instagram and Twitch if you're watching, and the CJUC FM YouTube channel if you're also watching there. I run 2 shows on this radio station every week, Postmortem and the Seditious Theater of Love. I'm very grateful to be here and have the space to be able to just, talk about anime and also play weird synth music Wednesday evenings for Postmortem. And if you enjoy this show and you enjoy some of the broadcasts that happen on this show, we are currently running our Solstice fundraiser. We are seeking donations to pay the rent and get some new gear to keep doing our fireweed market concerts. It's the 4th year we've done this. You can donate by e-transferring the following email address: donate@cjucfm.com. Every little bit helps is the thing people usually say about these, so please consider donating if you are able to. We are also selling t-shirts, so if you want a t-shirt, you can buy a t-shirt. You can find out more information at cjucfm.com, but also if you just wanted to come down to the station and get a t-shirt right now, they're $30. They're a shirt. They're a good shirt. Makes a good holiday gift if you're looking for a holiday gift. Rep your local live radio show. We've been doing so much great hard work the past 3 days throughout this fundraiser, and I just want to shout out the people who have been really putting in a lot of work and effort to keep this station running, and who volunteer a lot of their time. I'm not paid to do this show. I love doing it. And everyone you've heard pretty much the last 3 days here are volunteers to CJUC. I want to shout out Meredith, who is one of the hosts for our Sad Girl Power Hour. Who's just been who's been here all day, either on air or as the tech support for a lot of the live music you've heard, with Beer Rose earlier. So Meredith, thank you so much for all of the work that you do and for all of the wonder and art that you contribute to not only CJUC, but the whole community. So if you're going to find a reason to donate for Meredith, slide us a crisp 20 for Meredith, pouring out for Meredith. You were also, just before this hour block, you were listening to Emotional Doomsday Prep with Zach, another great show. If you caught that, it's this great music selection, honestly. We've had many guests throughout the past 3 days as well. So thank you for Bria Rose for performing live on air. We got Kim Rogers coming up next. Instant Fire Escape. Instant Fire Escape? Is that the name of the channel? I'm looking at the Solstice Fund Drive, and there's a show called Instant Fireplace Channel, which I think is a riff on Instant Fire Escape. And I didn't listen to that live last Thursday, but that's very clever and very good. That's one of our most popular shows on this channel, I think. It's also a podcast that you can hear online. And all of these live shows that we do, They're all recorded and uploaded onto our website where you can listen to past episodes by going to cjucfm.com. So if you ever want to like troll my old broadcasts and find out like what I said that one time and hold that against me, you sure can by listening to my collected works at cjucfm.com. And I'm sure I said something cancelable there that you can find and hold against me at some point. I regularly say things without thinking about them ahead of time. So check that out. And again, and Meredith just stepped in again to set up the next show. And once again, pour one out for Meredith and all of the hard work that they've been doing. Donate at cjucfm.com via e-transfer. Help us to keep the lights on, etc. I would love to give Meredith some additional time to be noisy. So let's find a song together. If you want to submit a confession and you have a question for moi, now would be a really, 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 really good time to go to milkweed.productions/MMSTOL and recommending a song or a couple of songs for us to play. Submit a confession that way, make your song recommendation, and on the way over to that URL, consider donating to CJUC-FM at the same time. But until I'll give you like a couple of minutes to do that. So I'll find this playlist is called Prog Rock. It's right above New Blood Metal, which I'm gonna have to listen to on my own time. Wow, Ego Death is the first song at the top of this playlist, and I don't know what that is. But I'm curious, and maybe we can figure it out and listen to it together. And for those of you watching the live stream, it's going to pop off for a minute because I don't really want to entertain you while I'm off air and helping Meredith at the same time. So like not multitasking here for y'all today. So take a little break, get yourself some glass of water. The show is wrapping up soon anyway. So just listen to Ego Death by Polyphia and Steve Vai off of the album Remember That You Will Die.